guys, my name is Ismael Trevino and this is the Millennial Way Show. This is a special coverage directly from Lisbon, Portugal. We came with all our crew to have these fascinating guests and share it with you, to share with all our media platforms. And today is actually an honor to have the possibility to interview one of the best big wave surfers that exists right now in the planet. His name is Andrew Cotton. Andrew, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Andrew, besides you being a professional big wave surfer, you are also a motivational speaker, right?
Yes.
And we saw that you say that sometimes you're a professional big wave surfer and others a plumber, others a lifeguard. I would like to know, how is a regular week for you doing those three things at the same time? How you organize?
No, I was a plumber. Now I'm a full-time surfer, so that's my 9 to 5 job. But it's only been sort of a recent thing. Before I became a professional surfer, my 9 to 5 job was a plumber, and then I just sort of always obviously dreamed of being a professional surfer, and that was my goal. And then sort of made it happen. And then to sort of make it happen, I actually quit my plumbing job and I became a lifeguard. So I was working as a lifeguard, which sort of enabled me to, I suppose it was like a stepping stone into professional surfing. You know,
and I understand, of course, you have a family, you have your kid. When did you decide to say, okay, I'm gonna kind of risk it all and follow and pursue that dream? You have to pay the bills, no? You have to consider that stuff.
You know, and that was always, it's always been a juggling act. But pursuing sport and the dream or whatever, it always is. And I was really lucky to have a supporting wife and family, and I think back then when it's just, you can't afford to be on every swell or travel to the best places. It was just having those clear goals and having and the mission was basically just to ride the biggest wave ever, and with that as a mission, and you don't have to go to every swell, you just have to go to the right swells, so it probably wasn't surfing as much, but I try to just get the biggest, especially in Europe, I'd go to like the biggest swell every,
Before we jump into the reason why we're here and why you're here at the Web Summit, you had recently, almost a year or something, this crazy accident. The video, the footage of that accident went viral all over the world. Do you remember exactly that day what happened? Or can you share with our audience what happened that moment?
It's a year ago on Thursday. It was just another, it was the biggest wave of the swell of the season so far, and
how big more is
the waves were like between, well, actually the world record was set that day, the new world record, so the waves were up to 80 feet.
Jeez.
But the wave that I got injured on was probably around about 50 feet, 60 feet, and it's just, I took a very critical line, very deep, and paid the price, and I didn't make the wave. The impact of the wave hit me so hard it sort of almost crushed me and fractured my back. It's been a long year of recovery, but I'm feeling good. It's nice. Sometimes it's just nice to reset. So rather than it's just nice to sort of strip everything back. I didn't surf for so long, and but I feel like I've got a good base of fitness now, and I'm ready to sort of get back out there.
During that process of recovery, did you have any moment that you say to yourself, I'm done, I want to quit? You had those pressure moments?
Yeah, of course. You go through those days sometimes, moments, you're thinking, well, what is the point in this? And even to more recently, I was sort of questioning, do I really want to do this? Is this, and then, but the second you get back in the ocean, it's like, that's why I do it. It's I could never imagine life without it. But it hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. And I surfed Nazaré Saturday morning, and it was just like a reason you're like, okay, right, this is why I do it. This is why I've trained so hard to get back here. This is why it's just, it felt good to be back in the water.
How many days you surf? How many per week? Or
I try to surf every day. I've tried to, like days like today, like I won't surf today. It's just being, the ocean's a pretty magical place. Just being in it. Whether it's not surfing or whether it's foiling or swimming in it. It's a good place to spend time. And
when we told our media audience, platform and social media that we were having the opportunity to have you in our show, we asked, okay, you have guys any question? And they told us to ask you, for you, how can you define the perfect wave? For you, which will be that perfect wave?
The perfect wave for me is, it doesn't have to be big. Like, the perfect wave is just, it's something like smooth, like super smooth. So when you're surfing it, it's just like not all bumpy and horrible, smooth and barreling. Smooth and barreling is the perfect wave. It can be a left or a right, it doesn't matter. It can be any size as long as it's smooth and it's barreling.
Perfect. In blue collar big wave, let's go to blue collar big wave. You show us the importance of about family. How important is the concept of family? And I would like to ask you, for you specifically, how do you value that support of the family?
Well, it's been, without them, I wouldn't be here. Having, I think that when the kids come along, and it gave me that motivation to make it as a professional surfer, but also to be more professional, but be safer, be more focused, committed, because I have a lot of responsibility, I have 2 children, and you need to pay the bills, and so I think it was funny because a few people when the news, I come home and find out and telling my mates, I'm going to be a dad. They're like, that's it, surf trips are over, mate. And it's been the exact opposite, because it's helped me focus and given me direction.
Also, you said that you focus on your next wave, not in your last wave.
Yeah.
How's that?
Well, I think it's that's what drives you. It's no good thinking about the waves you have caught, whatever. It's what's driving me to get up in the morning is the wave that I'm surfing in my mind. Okay, right, and having that goal, helps. It motivates you. Not thinking about what's going on in the past. It's gone, it's done. And that makes me want to also, keep safe and keep fit, keep healthy.
One of your best talks was for a TED Youth event in Brooklyn Museum in New York. How was it?
That was actually one of my first talks, and it was obviously it's a big one, and it was amazing to have that opportunity. That's to do one of those TED Youth talks, and it was a pretty big deal. So it was great. I was very nervous, but that was a few years ago now, and I feel like it was a great place to start my talking.
Web Summit, the reason why you're here, the topic, how you implement, how in the surfer community you guys are implementing more and more the tech innovation. You have GoPros, you have 3D printing boards, you have these aerodynamic wetsuits, but I understand that this is just the tip of the iceberg, that there's way more things coming. Can you tell us a little bit, where is the technology heading on this sport?
I think maybe you know, the things that we need to think about is like live streaming the competitions and the big wave sessions, and how you can make them more interactive with the viewers.
And it's happening right now?
Yeah, look, I'm working on a project called the wearable tech, and it can transmit like live data. So for example, for a webcast, you know, we can transmit live data like heart rate, speed. You know, which gives it a bit more interaction with the viewer. So,
Fascinating.
yeah, and that's also good for me to know, you know, as a surfer, like to know these things, you know, like to record them, like know, you know, how quick I'm recovering, how fast I go, how much impact I've had on a wipeout, you know, all those sort of things. So yeah, so it's an exciting project to be working on.
This show is called the Millennial Way Show, and we always end up with this message from our fascinating guests like you, with a short advice to all our audience that is following you right now here, because of your accident and how you recovered and how you embraced this, you know, your goal, your dream, with the support of your family, and to keep it up and keep going. What would be your best advice to these new generations to not give up on their dreams, on their goals? If you can tell them there.
Yeah, do you know what? I think everything sort of changed for me was write down your goals, write them down, and then you can see them every day and focus, and then that sort of really changed. When I started writing my goals down, like things started to happen. So write down your goals.
You guys, you have it there. Andrew Cotton, professional big wave surfer, here on the Millennial Way Show with us. Andrew, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, man.
We really appreciate it.